this Solana chart more important than it looks. I don't cover Solana a lot on this channel, if ever, but it does not matter what altcoin is doing something. If there is an indicator on that chart that could potentially be a leading indicator for other cryptos, I am 100% interested. I really am. And so that's happening on this chart. I want to break it down as it relates to this specific group of cryptos. I'm talking about Solana, BNB, Matic, ADA, and I specifically am going to dig even deeper into the ADA charts in this video, so make sure to stick around for that. Before we even talk about the significant move that's happening on the Solana chart and even a confirmation area that I'm watching to see if this bullish event really gets triggered, before I even talk about that, to kind of magnify my point, this is Bitcoin Cash. This is Bitcoin Cash on the weekly. So there's a couple of weeks, Bitcoin Cash almost up 200% over the last couple of weeks. The reason I'm showing you this chart is because Bitcoin Cash is in its own little group of cryptos right now. And this is what crypto is made of, everybody. Over the years, there's one thing that I've noticed. Things just happen out of nowhere. Surprising things happen out of nowhere. But they often are leading indicators for markets. So although they're surprising, it happens so consistently, though nobody can predict these things, it happens so consistently that it's not surprising. So what I mean by this is this. Bitcoin Cash in its own little group, Solana, Matic, BNB, ADA in their own little group. Bitcoin Cash, if you remember, is kind of this SEC-approved crypto as it relates to the recently announced EDX exchange, right? And we've got Bitcoin in there, obviously, Litecoin in there. So I would really keep an eye on this move potentially being a leading indicator for something like Litecoin. But in that same sense, I would look at the Solana chart that's happening right now as a leading indicator for its own little group of tokens. BNB. You see, BNB hasn't made the move yet. Matic has not made the move yet. ADA has not made the move yet. That's what I want to discuss in this video. What's the move over here with Solana? It is this. You can just, if we just look at those charts, you can see the similarities, right? Kind of falling off of that SEC news, popping back up and falling back down. That's the move on all of these cryptos. They might look a little different, but that's the move. Falling back up and down, right? ADA, same exact thing. It's falling, it's back up, and it's down. Now, here's what's happening on Solana. It's just popped up, and it just broke a recent swing high. So this is a higher high that just took place right now. Now, the key thing that I'm watching is not only the move itself and anticipating a potential move similar on the Cardano charts, on the BNB charts, on the Matic charts, but what I'm really watching in terms of Solana is the area where it's seeing right now resistance. And this is a daily chart. That's why it might look a little different than those 6 hours, like the 8 to 6 hour I just showed. But swing high on June 4th to swing low. This is the move that's playing out for ADA or for Solana. And it's resistance right now at this lower high area. And that 618 line, right where it just saw resistance around 1883, also confluent with the 50-day moving average. It's just this whole area, this whole channel, a resistance area for Solana, a lower high area for Solana. We want to see it break out of that area. We want to see it really gain back all of the losses. And that's kind of the story that we're waiting for. But right now, this is a leading move when it comes to charts like BNB. You can see BNB has not made the move yet to its lower high Fibonacci. So in terms of price gains, if we take our price range from where BNB is right now, we're looking at another 15% or so just to the 618, around $273. You go over to Matic, and we're looking at a price range of around 18% to the 618, around $75. And then you go to ADA, and this is a 6 hour. Let me bring out the Fibonacci, swing high to swing low. And for ADA, we'd be looking at a move of around, price range wise, 14% to the 618 line. Now that's the move just to get to resistance. And I believe I talked about this previously on an ADA video. Now, maybe that move will happen on ADA. Maybe it won't. But if it does happen, it could potentially happen before Solana has its breakout. But I really am keeping an eye on the Solana chart because I want to see if this is a continued move or if resistance is really hit right here and we come back down. It would be good. You know, I'm not like a Solana holder over here, but it would be good to see Solana break through this resistance area because I really think this could be a magnificent leading indicator for these other cryptos that we're talking about. So instead of covering each crypto, I do want to dig into the ADA charts. You all know I'm tracking ADA very vigorously. So that's the move we're looking for ADA. It's kind of another swing high. And what that would do, it's around a 14-15% move. It's to the upper trend line. Notice where this upper trend line is that we've been tracking here of this rising channel. So it's to a really key resistance area. And we can just call it 31 to 32 cents. So it's the 618 of the Fibonacci channel of resistance. It is also the upper trend line area of that rising channel. And if we just go to a daily chart, this might be actually easier to look at this. Let me chart this Fibonacci once again. If you just look at the Fibonacci we just talked about and the resistance that is there, especially at the 618 line on the 6 hour, look what else is right there. It's the 50-day moving average. This is a key resistance area as well. ADA still has a ways to go, but truly we want to see ADA with a higher high, similar to what just happened with Solana. It will be very interesting to see if these other altcoins follow that Solana move. There is no guarantee it's going to happen. I'm not sitting here saying it's definitely going to happen, but I can just say over the years, this is something that does play out a lot. One token in its own little group of tokens makes the move, and then it's just like a trickle-down effect, a domino effect. The rest of them make the move. And obviously, if you're an ADA holder, BNB holder, Matic holder, here's Matic over here, you'd want to see that move follow, right? So in that sense, it's kind of like everybody's rooting for each other, right? So ADA, that's ADA on the shorter term. If it can break through that area, that would be the bullish, the real bullish confirmation that we're waiting for, because that's a ton of resistance at this entire channel. The 786 is up here around 35 cents, and the 618 right around 32 cents. You have the 200-day moving average up there, just an insane area of resistance. If ADA breaks through that, that's a huge bullish confirmation. I want to go to the weekly chart and discuss some things. All of that short-term stuff that I just kind of broke down, why it's so meaningful for me is because I am sitting here doing my technical analysis, you all know, through the bear market, talking about this 20-week moving average, seeing the SEC completely just, that whole SEC situation, it really just demolished ADA at this 20-week moving average. That area that I've talked about through the whole bear market for ADA to kind of have victory over and just see support above, it lost it. Now we're just trying to regain it. So all that short-term technical analysis that I'm doing here to this channel, 35 cents at the upper end, 786, look where the 20-week moving average is. That is the most massive of resistance, 35.5 cents or so. So it is right there at the top of that resistance channel. That's the move I'm waiting for. And if you just look, there's 50-week moving average just above it, only 3 cents above it on this macro chart, around 38 cents. I want to point something out. You go to this weekly zoomed out chart. This is my venture wave momentum oscillator here that you see, and there's a lot of significant things happening on this, but there's one significant thing that I'm waiting for, and that is for this histogram to turn turquoise once again. So we've already had this band cross to the all these bands down here crossing to the upside. We got the bullish X. That's definitely something we want to see. It happened before this SEC news came into play. We'll never know what would have happened if that didn't happen, but that's okay. We got the X, and right now I'm looking at this histogram to turn turquoise. That's the bullish indicator that we want to see go off on that indicator, the venture wave. And now here's the RSI. This is just the other thing simultaneously, because it's all about just taking all of these indicators and bringing them together. But right now, if we get the shorter term move to the upside, right, we're looking for ADA to make a really nice move. If it were to happen, and I'm going to talk about downside in a minute. So either leave the video before I do, but don't leave the video because you want to see downside. But if that move happens, this could be really good for what we're really looking to play out, and that is this higher low on this RSI. It's a bullish divergence type of move. We want to see continuation of this RSI, so we want to see that short-term pop to the upside. 15% move for ADA would be great. A breakout right now would be great for ADA. and Solana really could be a leading indicator for that. I just want to mention, if this doesn't happen, because that's the other side of the scenario, right? This isn't me sitting here predicting, hey, this is going to happen definitely. It's a possibility. There are indicators, I think, that are alerting us to pay attention. At least they are for me. I'm paying attention now for this move. But if it does fail, there's a target to the downside out of this rising channel, and the target to the downside is around 22. So if it fails on the 6 hour to even get a breakout, and we just start coming back down tonight or overnight or something, we breaking down, just this is what I'm keeping an eye on. It's the lower trend line. It's right around 27 cents. It's like 1 penny below. And then a fall below, what does that look like? Is there a pullback? That's a story we'd have to track, unfortunately. But if Solana is a leading indicator for us, it will be interesting to see what we wake up to tomorrow, what I wake up to tomorrow. Is Solana going to continue its move? Is ADA going to follow in the tracks of that Solana move? And not just ADA, like I said, BNB, Matic, this little group of tokens that was all thrown into this bunch, Solana, Polygon, Cardano, and BNB, named as securities in SEC suit against Binance. Are they going to make a move to the upside to start trying to regain all of those losses that came into play in the last couple of weeks? So that's what I'm watching, everybody. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think is going to happen tonight even? I appreciate you cruising through, especially if you're on the East Coast or you're in the US and it's getting late. I appreciate your support. I really do. Hit the subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Smash that like button. Your support, it really helps me and it means a lot to me. So thank you, and I will see you in the next video. God bless.